I met her through a friend. We were at a party, actually. I'd never seen anyone who looked like her. She had this long brown wavy hair, but really, really big and thick, like some sort of twisted up hair shawl or something. She was part Native American. I found that out later. I asked her where she was from and she told me LA. We talked about how much we missed the weather and Mexican food. She told me that she was studying international relations or something. To tell you the truth, the conversation really wasn't that interesting. She told me she was ready to graduate. I told her I was too. I asked her what her plans were for the summer, and I think she said she was going to do an internship somewhere. We ended up exchanging emails, and I didn't see or hear from her until about 3 months later when my friend invited us both to a birthday dinner. She looked great. She was all tan now, and after a couple glasses of wine, she was laughing and telling jokes about her crazy boss. She was pretty funny. Smart funny. She was a smart, funny, beautiful girl. Her favorite color was black. She wore black clothes all the time, especially this one black dress she always wore when we went out. She was a vegetarian. Actually, she was a vegan. No eggs or milk. I didn't mind as long as she didn't have a problem with what I ate. She hated worms. I mean really hated worms. Like she had an unhealthy fear of worms. Remember once we came back from the beach and we found a worm on her driveway. She ran back inside the car and started screaming at the top of her lungs for me to get rid of it. I scooped it up with a leaf and threw it in the bushes. She was actually in tears when she got out of the car. I wasn't sure what to make of it. Her brother came into town once and we all went out to dinner at one of our favorite Mexican restaurants. When I ordered a beer, he gave me one of the dirtiest looks I've ever been given and didn't speak to me for the rest of the night. I found out later that she'd been in rehab as a teenager. She never liked to talk about it, but her family as a rule never drank anything in front of her, even though drinking apparently wasn't the main problem. She got kind of upset though when we talked about it, so I didn't ask a lot of questions. She seemed fine now, and that was good enough for me. I did wonder though why she couldn't just tell me the truth. A few weeks later she told me she was pregnant. I went nuts, literally nuts. I didn't even want to think about the possibility of having a kid. But she was happy. She was even smiling when she told me, like she had just gotten a promotion or won a contest or something. I couldn't believe it. I told her there was no way I was ready for any of that. To have a kid, to get married, none of it. But she didn't care. She said she was excited and that we'd be fine. What could she possibly have been thinking? Her job paid $12 an hour. I made her take another test and it turns out she wasn't pregnant. Now that felt like winning the lottery. But she still really wanted a kid. She spent the next 2 weeks trying to convince me it'd be a good idea. I couldn't understand what she was thinking. There was just no way she was ready. Why did she think she was? She just wanted to carry it around and show it to her friends and play with it and post pictures of it on her MySpace account. She didn't want to raise it, take care of it. There was no way she was ready for that responsibility. Plus, I was beginning to suspect that she was using some sort of drugs again. I found a bottle of Oxycontin inside a jar in her bathroom, and in the next few weeks she pretty much confirmed it. We talked about it and she ended up admitting it. But she said she was fine and that she'd been doing it since October. October. That was almost right after I met her. I did remember a couple times before when she seemed a little too happy-go-lucky, but I had no idea. She was okay with it though. She said she could control it. And you know what? She could. She'd been doing it for 7 months and I didn't have a clue. But I was stupid and she was a good liar. She was a good pill-popping liar who had cool hair and wanted a pet baby. I just wish she told me all that from the beginning.